Well, hey, my name is Ryan Earnhardt from CreativeSoundLab.tv, and this is an off-topic episode. It's a new type of episode that I'm creating, just a way for me to simply answer questions, talk about issues that I may not have time for in a particular series because it would just go on and on forever. And this is actually kind of a throwback for me. When I first started creating videos on recording and how to do stuff, this was actually the way I began. I looked into a camera actually coming from this angle, and I just talked about stuff. And that was before there were really tutorials and a lot of hands-on approaches. And then I kind of created the idea of a laboratory of sound, of creative recording, and that's where I came up with Creative Sound Lab. And so this is really kind of going backwards for me, but it's really a way just for me to talk to you guys and answer some questions and really just kind of reflect on what I've been up to. So one thing that I really wanted to go into more detail is the idea of setting up a reverb chamber and how to really do it. I have a really old episode on how to do it, and that's maybe 20 minutes long. That's really a step-by-step. This one is really, this off-topic is really just about dealing with specifically drum sounds. And so, real quickly, the basis of creating a reverb chamber is pretty simple. You need a speaker, a room, and a microphone. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take one of my studio monitors, in this case the right monitor, bring it out here into the lounge, set it right here on the bar, and then put a microphone across the room. It's really that simple. From here, you basically just have to specify what goes to the speaker out in your reverb chamber. And so for me, I'll just pan or really oftentimes I'll just solo the element that I want to come out to the speaker and make sure that it is going to the speaker, either center panned or panned all the way right. If I want to monitor something, maybe listen to the music as I'm queuing up the reverb chamber audio and stuff, then I'll have to have it panned left. Anything panned right will go to your reverb chamber. In this case, I'm using the right monitor, so I didn't hook up any special outputs or anything. I literally am just splitting my system. Left is the control room, right side is the reverb chamber. Now, for the case of these drums, what I found is that the top mic really sounded pretty bad when going through the reverb chamber. This is not something that I covered in the episode. Really, what I found is that to really only do the bottom microphone, and when I only did that bottom microphone, the results that I got were really quite nice. And you can hear from the episode, a couple different reverb takes. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. But really, the best two that I gave you for downloading, those are really just the bottom snare mic, just soloed. It's a modded SM57 new transformer. And I also did my 500 ohms mod where I put resistors in a cable and plugged that into the preamp so that instead of 1200 ohms, it's actually stepping down the ohms to 500. It's supposed to make that that microphone smoother on the top end. And in kind of a nerdy, geeky kind of way, what it does is it really just takes the vibration, the tension on that membrane, it takes it down so that it can't continue to ring extra. Once it receives signal, once it receives a vibration from acoustic energy, it doesn't tend to over-ring. And so the high end's a little bit smoother is what it comes down to. So that's really all that all that was in my reverb chamber is that bottom mic, and then I recorded it. Now the recordings that I gave you were actually in stereo. They're made by an AEA R88 microphone. It's an incredible mic. It does cost some, but for me, I really think that that's really what you have to do if you're going to make some equipment worthwhile for your studio. Sometimes, the M179s are great mics, but they just don't compare to the sound of a really good quality ribbon. And of course, there's cases of where you would select certain mics. There's cases where I'd use an SM57, I never use the ribbon, and so I've actually had cases where the SM57 was almost as good on vocal as that ribbon mic. And so, you know, there's a lot to be said for the price of equipment, but at the same time, investing in something can really elevate your sound. If you just have opportunity for one item, maybe one good mic, you can really elevate your sound. And that's really the sound that we're hearing in that reverb chamber. For placement, I found that actually putting it up above my ceiling here into my kind of extended area ceiling was the way to go. I had it about 6 feet up off the ground here, and I found that I was getting some weird reflections and fluttering and stuff, but I put it up above. There's kind of a drop ceiling, and then it goes to a higher 12-foot ceiling from about here on out, and I found that that's really the winning spot. So it didn't have any direct sight of that monitor. The sound coming out of the monitor had to go up and around and bounce and eventually reach the mic. So but yeah, that's really the basis. That really covers everything for how I got my sounds for that episode, that snares and you know, mixing snares in small spaces. So anyways, I hope this was cool for you. Let me know what you thought. I'm really trying to engage you guys more in your questions, and this is kind of a way for me to answer questions on a kind of week-by-week basis. I won't be doing this every week, but it's just a way for me not to have to like overproduce a piece of content just to get you know, some cool ideas out to you. So I'll see you next week.